Welcome to Am I the A-hole, where OP is caught between her fiancé and his entitled stepmom, who wanted to use OP to get closer to her stepson so that she could live off his money, but her plan gets exposed. I, 27-year-old female, am getting married to my fiancé Jamie, 28-year-old male, next month in one of the best marriage halls in the city. After the wedding, we are planning to go on a honeymoon to Europe and possibly visit Asia as well. I am really excited about the wedding ceremony. My fiancé has a stepmom, Ellen, 56-year-old female, but he is not close to either his stepmother or his dad, Pramod, 53-year-old male. Last week, my fiancé's stepmom showed up at our house and asked me if I could help her surprise my fiancé with a dance for the two of them at our wedding. She confided in me that she had hoped her stepson would ask her to dance or honor her as the mother of the groom in some way. However, as time passed without any communication from him about the wedding, she came to the realization that he had no plans to make her feel special. She shared with me that she had loved him since he was 1-year-old when she first met him, and told me that officially becoming Jamie's mother had meant a great deal to her, but Jamie had never acknowledged her as his sole mother figure since childhood. She felt that it was only fair and right that on his wedding day he should acknowledge her in that role. For context, my fiancé originally comes from an Indian family that moved to Chicago in 1995, around a year before his birth. I think my fiancé's mother, AITAH, now deceased, was pregnant with him when they moved to the USA. My fiancé's father is a nurse, and his mother was a housewife, and they had an arranged marriage. However, his father met Ellen, a wealthy divorced woman, at work, and they started dating. After 6 months of dating, Ellen proposed to my fiancé's father. Though he was married and was about to become a father, he accepted her proposal for monetary gains, and in the hope that he would get permanent citizenship of the USA if he divorced his first wife. To create a reason for divorce, he started arguing with his mother on trivial matters, which led to occasional fights between them. Finally, they decided to divorce after my fiancé's birth. However, his mother tragically passed away in a car accident before the divorce was finalized. After the death of his mother, my fiancé was taken in by his aunt, and his father married Ellen. His aunt also died after 4.5 years, and he moved in with his dad and stepmom when he was 5. He told me that she was never like a mom is supposed to be. She was abusive and neglectful, particularly towards him, and used to discriminate between his own children and him. When he told his father about her behavior, his father didn't pay much heed to his complaints. Sensing that his father would not address his concerns, he never complained to his father again. Instead, he started avoiding his stepmom. He was a competent learner and a bright student, and he received a full scholarship in high school. However, none of Ellen's children could secure any scholarships, because of which she grew more jealous of my fiancé. However, instead of complaining about his stepmom or fighting with his stepmom, Jamie silently moved out before reaching the age of majority and visited home few and far between, and none of his parents cared about his moving out. After finishing high school, my fiancé joined a prestigious university in Italy on a Fulbright scholarship. Despite feeling jealous of my fiancé's success, his stepmom realized that her children were not as accomplished as was my fiancé, so she decided to change her attitude towards my fiancé, hoping to benefit from his success in future and be recognized as the mother of a successful man. When the news of Jamie's scholarship broke out, Ellen and Jamie's father invited him home and told him they wanted to host a party to celebrate his Fulbright scholarship. Jamie knew what was the purpose of the invitation, so he declined to attend the party on the pretext that he was very busy preparing for the journey. However, he promised to visit them one day before leaving for Italy. Although they were not happy, they had to agree. On the day before his flight, he visited home out of obligation, despite knowing the reality of his stepmom and his father. After completing his education, my fiancé joined an MNC in Washington, D.C. He now visits home sometimes because he believes he must not treat his family the way he was treated in his childhood. If he does the same, what would be the difference between him and his stepmom and his dad? So, my fiancé respects his family, and sometimes helps his father financially as well. But he doesn't trust them anymore, and doesn't think of them as true family members. I met my fiancé at his first job. We dated for 4 years, and now we are getting married next month. As I mentioned above, a week ago, my boyfriend's stepmom reached out to me and asked if I could help her surprise my fiancé with a dance for the two of them at our wedding. I knew my fiancé would hate it and would never agree to dance with his stepmom. She acknowledged as much and told me how much it broke her heart that he always rejected and denied her as his mother. She wanted to do something where he wouldn't say no, so they could have a moment together, and she could experience that mother-son connection he had refused to give her his whole life. She shared how much it hurt her that my fiancé never returned any love or affection to her and disliked her in a way that stung worse than anything because she always tried to give him the love, affection, and mothering he needed. I knew all this was a ploy to be recognized as my fiancé's mother, so I declined because I knew my fiancé wouldn't want to dance with her, and that was sufficient for me. She tried to convince me but couldn't, and in the end, she asked me not to say anything about her request to my fiancé. I neither agreed nor disagreed because I didn't want to argue with her, but I did tell to my fiancé. My fiancé wasn't happy, but he said nothing at first. Then, my fiancé's stepmom asked him directly, and after telling her no in the clearest way possible, he also read her the riot act for going behind his back and trying to force this on him via me. And of course she was pissed that I told my fiancé. She accused me of making things worse between them. My fiancé told her that I had done nothing wrong and that supporting him was not making things worse, but her refusal to accept that he will never ever see her as his mom is doing a good enough job of that. My fiancé's stepmom sent me a text a few hours after the confrontation and told me that I knew it would make things worse, and I told him anyway, which made me untrustworthy and a troublemaker. I replied to her that I don't care what she thought about me, and told her that I only care about the feelings of my future husband. Then, I blocked her after showing her text to my fiancé. So, am I the jerk? What OP did is certainly justifiable, and she did what a partner is supposed to do. Jamie's stepmom is a really selfish lady, and hence a big AH. She has been mistreating him since his childhood, and now that she sees her stepson has become successful, she is trying to get closer to him. It is pure selfishness. If she were a genuine human, she should have first apologized for her past behavior, but she is not even ready to accept that she did wrong to OP in the past. She is lying to OP that she has loved her stepson, but the reality is otherwise. This behavior is not justifiable. So I would give her 3.5 out of 5 on the AH scale. Jamie's father is also an AH for leaving his family for money and for a green card. It is pathetic of him to prioritize money over his family. So I would give him 4 out of 5 on the AH scale. What do the Mac Reddit fans think? Is the OP an AH or not? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the stories I brought you, just hit the like button, share them as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to Mac Reddit for a daily dose. Bye bye. See you tomorrow with some more spicy fries.